I've asked to address owners because at the special meeting that was held last week, at which I was removed as the treasurer, I was not present because I had made previous plans to be at my father's apartment in Millbrook cleaning up things after his death. I want to say first that I don't dispute the right of the GTCA board to elect or unelect officers as often as it chooses. The bylaws give the board this authority. But I've asked to speak tonight because the bylaws do not authorize directors to publish a letter making serious, unsubstantiated allegations about my integrity, my honesty, my competence, and my actions during my time as treasurer of the association. This letter, you've seen this letter. It's sitting on all the concierge desks. It's signed by Mr. Wiggins, the board president. It was approved by 5 directors and not approved by 3. The letter, I think it's time to put some facts on the table about this letter. As I said in a recent email to the Financial Advisory Committee, I'm not a politician. I tell it like it is. The facts are the facts. We need to have some facts in plain view. When I joined the board in April 2008, the Galaxy had had no treasurer for over a year because no one wanted the job. I asked to be considered for the position in an email to other directors. I said, I don't think my qualifications are unique, but no other director has volunteered. I said, I believe our treasurer should be on the board, so the treasurer should have a vote on key financial decisions. I believe our treasurer should be accountable and visible. I said to the board, this is the year we get our financial house in order to prepare for what we do in the coming 5 years. Now, I know my limits. I don't promise to do anything I don't know how to do. Financing, for example. I don't do that. I didn't say I would. But I do know how to keep books. I do know how to review accounting reports, cash and accrual, how to manage cash flow and do budgets. I've had 15 years running my own small business with employees, 12 years as a manager in large and small corporations. I'm not an accountant, but I've read and I understand the CIRA guidelines. I'm familiar with the Galaxy financials. And so, evidently, enough of the directors felt the same way, and I was elected. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. On April 19th, Mrs. Strumza emailed me, for 3 weeks we've received nothing from the treasurer. I replied, I was only elected on April 10th. Have you forgotten that our accounting department self-destructed a few weeks ago? Have you forgotten the department is currently led by Ray McAleer, a volunteer? I'm working with Ray in the accounting department to set things up, but I certainly recognize the department has many other things to do. Do you have a problem with this? Please let me know. On April 26th, I reached out for the second or third time to Lou Otero. I said, given what I've seen in the last 2 weeks, I would say there's an urgent need to get going on financial planning for the remainder of the year. On April 28th, I asked Mr. Otero for permission to contact Jules Frankel, the GTCA's auditor. I said, I'd like to have your permission to work with him directly on the issues we've discussed, the loan repayment plan and the structure and function of the accounting department. Mr. Otero replied, I'll get back to you on this. He finally got back to me in mid-July. By early May, I knew we were in trouble. I emailed Mr. McAleer on May 3rd. I understand your difficulties, Ray, I said, in training new people and doing so many things simultaneously. But Ray, our envelope system of bank and investment accounts has been allowed to self-destruct. I emailed Mr. Otero. Lou, I think financial statements and financial information are not high on your list of priorities. Please escalate these priorities. The bottom line, I said to both of them, this board is making decisions with major impact on our financial situation without adequate financial information. On May 4th, I emailed a 5-page financial information memo to the entire board. It was based on cash numbers from bank statements, hardly ideal, but better than nothing. I picked up the overtime cost, which had already exceeded the budget. I said to the board, this is what happens when you cut the labor force below the level you need to operate 24/7. Our reserves were at an all-time low, only $200,000, and I warned any money paid for R&R projects from April forward will come from current assessments. Mr. Otero did not agree with my assessment of the importance of financial statements. On May 6th, he said to me in an email, "The board is more interested in getting the accounting department fully compliant. By June, we will need more information." In June, however, I couldn't even get bank statements. I reached out to Mr. Frankel, the auditor, even though I had not received the official go-ahead. I said, "Jules, I don't know how much money we have. Last night before the board meeting, Ray McAleer told me it has been decided not to release bank statements." After many more emails, the statements were released. Financial planning can't be done without solid financial information, and we didn't have that. I begged, I pleaded. Excuse me?
Initially for 4 minutes.
Point of order, there was no time given.
I
No
was not
time
given
was
a
given,
time.
you're right.
No.
You're right. no
Okay.
time was given.
That's
I
right.
have not objected.
May I
Okay,
continue?
Yes,
Continue.
continue, Barbara.
May I continue? Thank you, Jean. Financial planning can't be done without solid financial information. I begged and I pleaded with the board to make a decision, either rebuild our internal accounting department or give our accounting function to Cooper Square. Mr. Frankel, our auditor, was also concerned. "I don't have a warm, fuzzy feeling," he said. "I'd like to." Finally, with nothing moving forward, I put the case to a wider audience in a post on Galaxy Facts. I said, "It's clear the board has to decide what to do. In-house, Cooper Square, either option is possible. Both options have pluses and minuses," and I thank Ray McAleer and his staff for taking on a mission impossible. On June 17th, Mr. Lerner sent an email to the board about my post on Galaxy Facts. He said, "If we don't take action, we may be personally responsible for not stopping this disgraceful and embarrassing behavior of one of the directors." Mr. Lerner's main concern was secrecy. He said, "Why would a fiduciary tell before the fact what is happening behind the doors of the boardroom? And please do not use transparency as justification." I replied, "This is an association of more than 900 members, all entitled to know how their money is being spent. They have been given nothing for 6 months. This is a major failure on our part, the board, including me. We may indeed be liable if we do not put our financial house in order." In early July, as planned, Mr. McAleer left his temporary post in the accounting department. By mid-July, even Mr. Lerner could see our accounting department was struggling. What now? An emergency meeting of the board was held. I had an urgent deadline at work, and so I did not get to the meeting until 9:30. In my absence, 5 directors had decided that I would conduct a search for a new controller, pay off all the GTCA's operating expenses by October 1st, and work with the Financial Advisory Committee to complete a plan to repay the R&R loans by October 31st. By the end of August, I had done what was doable. A new controller had been hired, the Financial Advisory Committee was meeting. It was not possible to pay off 6 months' worth of bills in 3 months. In the interest of time, I'm now going to skip to the end. To conclude, I go back to what I said in the beginning. I'm not a politician. I tell it like it is, but the facts are the facts. I've made no grandiose statements to you tonight. I've shown you a small slice of life, a little bit of what I did as your treasurer over the last 10 months. The emails I've shared with you tonight are only the tip of the iceberg. There are many more. I think it's clear I do understand our financial problems. I think it's clear that I tried to address them. It's also clear that I got little cooperation from some directors. I accept the law and our bylaws. I don't contest the board's right to unelect a treasurer. But the bylaws do not empower directors to use association resources to smear the good name of another director. I have never been accused of any impropriety, financial or otherwise, in my 62 years on this planet. Quite to the contrary, I have an excellent professional reputation. I'm well known for my high level of competence, my willingness to take on extra responsibilities, my concern for others, and my honest and above-board dealings with everyone I work with. In my private life, I'm the go-to person you can count on, no matter what. My reputation is my most valuable possession. I cannot allow, and I will not allow, unsubstantiated allegations about my integrity, honesty, and competence to go unchallenged. Thank you for your attention.